of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tony, would you take the roll, please?
Mayor Hein,
Present.
Counselor Johnson,
Present.
Counselor Hoyt,
Present.
Counselor Hendrickson,
Present.
Counselor Jeff,
Present.
I apologize for the meeting starting a little bit late. Our budget meeting ran a little bit over. Okay, we'll start with the mayoral update. First, I just want to do a quick recap from something that I talked about at the last council meeting regarding comments from the audience. Just a reminder, all comments from the audience must be done from the podium after you have identified yourself and your address. All comments must be made to the council through me, not to any other individuals in the audience. They must be respectful. You get 3 minutes. We will time it, so make sure that you have planned out what you want to say before you get up here. And so be it. As far as what I've done this past couple of weeks, I went on another ride-about with Counselor Johnson and Administrator Boomdahl. I enjoy those. I'm learning a lot about roads, which I think is important for me to know. It was clear that we have a lot of ditching ahead of us. Some of the roads have been worked on this summer, but a great deal more needs to be done. Council, we have talked about adding another individual to the Public Works Department. I think this is something that we do need to look at sooner rather than later, because I think the workload that we are putting on our public works workers is simply too much. And I think that we need to lessen the load and get the job done better. I also attended a breakfast meeting this last week at St. Scholastica. It included city leaders from northern Minnesota, key business leaders from the northern Minnesota topics. Oh, and some of our legislators were there as well, including Senator Hochschild and Representative Zeleznikar. It was nice to meet up with them again. Topics discussed were the goals of our legislators during the upcoming session. They sound like they are really eager to get back to work, get some bonding done, work together. And other things that were talked about were funding requests that the businesses and cities in the area are asking for the state for. I did have the opportunity to speak. I told them about our ask to the state of 3.8 million to expand our infrastructure, our sewer and water infrastructure here in Rice Lake. I know that we have the total support of Senator Hochschild and of Representative Zeleznikar. So I am hopeful that with their support, we may be able to push this through. It would be lovely. I'm going down to the Capitol in March to pursue this further. So we'll just have to wait and see. That's about all I have. Does anybody have anything that they would like to add to that? Well, then let us move on to the public hearing. Tony, how do we want to handle this?
so we can look over the resolution. That does need to be passed tonight, and Chris Verda from Freiberger is here. If you have any specific questions on it, certainly explain it. Just again, this is what's called a conduit or a pass-through bond, so it will actually be a bond for Stella Maris, who will be using the city's tax exempt status in order to get a slightly better rate on the bond itself. And in that, by doing that, there is an administrative fee that we can charge in order to, that percentage of the bond that they are taking out. I believe in the resolution to it, it discusses what their bond is for. I don't know if there are any specific questions on it from council.
Well, I tried reading all 80 pages of this, and I can tell you I was at a complete loss, and I don't consider myself stupid, but I find it very confusing. Have we decided the percentage of the administrative fee that we would charge?
I did notice it was in the agreement, which actually was, a question I did have, but I didn't get a chance to ask Chris. I believe what is noted in there right now is, 0.25%, so it's $10,020, I think it ends up being, which I think is kind of the number I had thrown out when we initially discussed this.
Yeah.
So that's the side of it. I'm not 100% sure how much wiggle room there is with that.
And when I looked through this, and again, I'm a little bit lost, I didn't see that written in any of this. Don't we need to have that in writing?
Yeah, so right there. And you pulled it up for us. It's in the loan agreement.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay.
So tonight, really all we are doing is we're passing the resolution. And then there's also a D, which. So the other loan agreement will be finalized once it gets closer to the actual issuance of the bond.
So tonight we just need to pass the resolution.
Yes.
Counselors, any questions on this? Comments? I know we discussed it at the last meeting.
Just want to confirm, we're not, in the event of a default or something, we're not co-signing, we don't become.
That's my understanding. It is correct. So no risk to us like at all.
Doesn't go against our bond rating.
We don't have to list it as debt when we file, and we would come and see.
And this has happened before, is that right?
Yes,
We've done this before.
I think it was 2017. I don't know if you were involved with that one too. It was before.
Yeah, around that time, and that was for a healthcare facility.
Yeah.
So,
What paper we got?
We're a darn nice city. Any questions, comments from the audience on this?
I just say that Andrew Hilliker, the president of Stella Maris Academy, so if there's questions about the project that was completed, I'm happy to answer those or speak on behalf of the academy as well. I cannot speak to the lingo within the document.
I'm with you.
I will refer to him and then the council who wrote it, which is Daniel Murphy, so.
Thank you. All right, if there are no more questions or comments, I will entertain a motion to approve or disapprove Resolution 2535.
I'll make a resolution to approve resolution 2535.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll support.
Counselor Quaid has seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Hey,
Just so everybody knows, we did discuss this before, so we had a pretty good idea of what was going on. So
we had a lengthy discussion before. Because we couldn't understand it. Okay, next on the agenda is public discussion. This is for any items not on the agenda. Discussion time is limited to 3 minutes. Would anybody like to speak?
Karen Alshire, 4802 Arnold Road. I'm circling back to the meeting on the 13th. In Counselor Johnson's report, there was a complaint on Fairview Road for grading. I was just curious if we ever came up with that, log of resident complaints being documented and or if there's a way to view that in its detail or in its details.
I'm pulling a blank on that one. Can anyone refresh my memory?
I thought where we landed was we were reporting with the city staff and the guidance that I understood.
Okay. So it all went to city staff? Can you answer her question there?
We are maintaining a log of those complaints, and then they are kind of routed to the appropriate people to handle them. So Shane
Okay,
was
okay.
shared.
And are those complaints accessible to the public?
I would assume so. Yeah, there was a request for them.
Okay. So yes,
So it would have to be a data request to find that out. I just don't want to add to the data request number. I was just curious if we could just have it publicly posted
public,
or somehow accessible.
I don't know that I want to publicly post it.
No, because we usually have the complainant's information in there as well that we follow up, so
So
that would have to be
it
redacted.
would have to be a data request. Data
So
request.
it does have to be a data. Okay, thank you so much.
Sure. Any other questions or comments before we move on? All right. Consent agenda. Tonight that consists of minutes from October 27, 2025. Also executed claims from October 28, 2025 to November 10th, 2025, totaling $177,361.43. Council, any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion to regarding the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Counselor Johnson's made the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll support.
Counselor Jecka is seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Department reports. Tony, the administrative report?
For the month of October, it's been a busy time with the new utility connection reviews with our utility committee, as well as utility extension design meetings with our engineers. We've been working on getting new connection plans approved so residents can finish their connections before the winter and meeting with our engineers to get designs completed this winter for construction in the spring. I've also been meeting with the HR supervisors about employee health insurance renewals for 2026 and making sure we are set up for the new paid leave law that goes into effect January 1st and the reporting requirements that go along with it. I've also been spending some time reviewing the proposed 2026 budget to see if there are any areas we can reduce the budget and levy for 2026. The preliminary levy was approved at the September 22nd council meeting, and there will be a public hearing on the levy at the December 8th council meeting before council sets the final levy that night. Again, I continue to encourage residents, if you have any questions on the preliminary levy or how that increased levy will affect your property taxes, just reach out to me with your questions. More than willing to sit down with them, answer any questions. Or if they want more additional information, I can certainly provide them with that and explain what goes into those levy numbers. And then just a data request update. I just added on October on the list. In October, I had 2 requests, approximately an hour of staff time for $55. So that brings our total requests for 2025 to 35 requests. 29.75 hour staff time, approximately $1,583.75 for costs.
Okay. This new paid leave law. Are we ready for that?
I think so. I think we have all the accounts created that we need for reporting. Most of it's being handled through unemployment, but there are certain employees that aren't covered under employment, mainly council and other appointed governing.
We have to be part of that too.
So yes, you are part of the paid leave law, so I had to create a separate account just to report on you guys. So this is kind of the only thing I'm waiting on is there is a distinction between large employers and small employers, which the state was supposed to notify people if they were. I think they're a little behind on that notification process, so just I need to finalize what actual percentage we're looking at for 2026.
Does our payroll program that we use to run payroll, have they updated their, have this changed?
I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm assuming that they will, so we'll reach out to them just to see. But yeah, normally they update all of their codes because they have several Minnesota clients, so I would assume they're working on it.
I have QuickBooks for my business and they haven't done a darn thing.
No. Well, that's because your first payment isn't due until the end of the first quarter, so, don't rush it.
Does anyone else have any questions for Tony? Okay, financial report.
For the month ending of October 2025, in our checking account, we have $2,538,816.31. In RBC investments, we have $1,625,596.42. For a total combined cash of $4,164,412.73.
Building and zoning report.
Right, in October, we had 2 administrative land splits, 1 commercial framing only permit, 1 driveway access permit, 1 residential addition to an accessory structure, 1 detached garage less than 1,200 square feet, 1 greater than 1,200 square feet, 1 home addition, 2 residential plumbing permits, 2 remodels, 4 residential over-the-counter permits, and 1 right-of-way permit. Total of 17 permits, valuation $210,977.60. Total fees collected $2,830.95.
Animal control.
All right, those 2 from September you've seen before. I just left them on here for the to show the fees from Animal Allies that were charged. And then we had 2 calls in October. 1 resident found a kitten and brought it in, and on the 30th of October, on the 27th of October, we received a call about a resident stopped in and told us about a dog that had jumped on them while they were walking. So that has been addressed by law enforcement.
So that litter of kittens. So they charge by the kitten.
They do.
Wow. Over $2,000, 6 cash shots. Wow. Public Works report.
For the month of October, starting with roads. October marked a productive close to the graveling season. The crews all the remainder material of the material that we had up at the county pit. Spread that material on Rabine and West Nelson Road. There's some additional gravel from Lakehead trucking that allowed the completion of Harrison Road and a small section of Fair Road. The new flail mower was delivered, installed, and put in service, and the right-of-way mowing is now back underway. In early November, crews will complete some more ditching projects, some smaller ones, not anything real big. Kendall Road, Reed Road, before transitioning to the winter readiness, mowing the plows and sanders, and completing some maintenance checks and reviewing plow safety procedures ahead of snowfall. season. Moving on to utilities, October brought some steady progress on the generators, that project that everyone is aware of. The transfer switches were all installed at all 5 of the lift stations and Duke Electric. They're in progress right now, working on pulling the rest of the wire, connecting the system all together. And completion, remains on schedule for give or take the week of November 16th, as long as nothing changes. Park, routine, park maintenance continued without incident, including mowing, cleaning up, equipment inspection to ensure the safety and appearance. Crews are now in preparation for off season. We'll be putting the Boy Scout benches and stuff underneath, picking up and just winterizing everything.
Shane, when I was out looking at roads, we just did the Rudder Road a year or two ago, correct? And I'm.
The section between Calvary and Fair, or excuse me, Willard?
Yeah. Because I'm noticing these things now. The grass curbs are coming back up. They're not cut back like they were initially. Are we gonna be doing something about that? So,
Yeah, we'll have to, yes, those will have to be cut.
correct. Any questions for Shane?
It's pretty cool. Those generators are getting set to go. That'll be nice.
We'll have something set up. Initial startup. Anyone who wants to be involved in it?
Fire department.
All right, for the month of October, we finally slowed down and had a more normal month with 21 calls. We had 14 medicals, 2 power line hazards, 2 vehicle fires, 1 structure fire, 1 gas leak, and then 1 outside fire check. The big and exciting news is our training center had the roof started last week, but they also finished it up last week. So that is officially on the building now. So big thank you to Ed Holman Construction for completing that project for us and donating a good chunk of labor and materials for us. October is always a very busy month for us with public events since it's fire prevention month. We had the open house, visits to the school, and a blood drive. All things went well. And we had a lot of volunteer hours that were committed to putting on the successful fire prevention month. And Fire Marshal Hunterford did a great job organizing all of those events. New applicants, we're finishing up with our final interviews and physical tests on 2 applicants this month. And then we'll be looking to accept them for probationary member status here at the last week of November. And then I've also had some recent conversations with a couple other individuals that have shown some interest in joining. But it's been nice to have a steady stream of people coming through the doors, at least gauging interest in learning more about it. So very, very much positive outlook as far as applications go. Otherwise, that is all I had for this month.
Looks like it was a good month. Anything for chief? Sheriff's report.
October did feel like a slower month, which was nice. We had 158 ICRs or separate incidents, whether we responded to them or not, but there were 158 ICRs created, 42 of which being traffic stops, 7 being accidents with 1 person injured. I don't think that person got transported to the hospital, evaluated on scene at least.
Good month for both departments. All right, we will move on to new business. Peter Braga utility connection extension request.
Yeah, so Jenny Jackson is here on behalf of Peter Branca. This is just to kind of refresh everyone's memory. He had gotten a letter that he needed to connect to city sewer. And we're going to assess the fees to his property taxes last year. We worked out an agreement that, as long as he did connect by November 25th of this year, we collected escrow, but that escrow money would be returned as long as he's connected by November 25th, which Jenny's pretty sure will happen, but she wanted to be a little proactive in case whether something else happens that he can't quite make that November 25th deadline. So I don't know if you have a particular date in mind that you're looking for?
I was looking maybe for just December 31st. I was, a year ago, I thought a whole year was, oh my gosh, we're gonna smash this easily. We'll be done in 7 months or 6 months. And everything just took a lot longer than I expected. The flags are up, so the utilities are marked, and the construction or digging is supposed to start around the 12th, but that's pretty tight. And if anything goes wrong, just even like getting the loan after it got in, it took 2 months before it was approved. So just in case, I saw that the next meeting was on the 24th. And I didn't want to come on the 24th to ask for the 25th. So we may make it, but we might be a little bit late, yeah. But yeah, the loan is approved, the contractor is all set.
Yeah, we do have, I think, a copy of the signed contract with the contractor, and Jenny, and then we do also have all of the paperwork that we need has been turned in, all fees have been paid, so it's literally just.
In the contractor's hands.
Basically, yeah.
Also,
Well, like me, to me, the project is moving forward or not.
I personally don't want to try them extended. As anyone else?
I think as long as everything is set and up to date and paid for, and hopefully it is still done, but if it's not,
Yeah. Okay, then it's before the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Peter Bronco utility connection extension request.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Counselor Quinn has made the second. Any comments from the audience? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
I'll abstain.
Opposed, say nay. Counselor Johnson has abstained. It is approved. Next is the employee health insurance renewal. Okay. We have talked about this a little. Tony, is there anything more that you would like to bring up?
No, I think just kind of to reiterate, that's what we had in the budget meeting for those that weren't there. Included in the packet is the blue page is the current health insurance for the employees, and then the next page is the proposed, which is a 9% overall increase, which and not too much of a change in the benefits for the employees. So that was right in line. I think when we were in budgeting, we actually were accounting for a 10% increase, so we're actually under you, yeah.
Do we also want to talk about that additional piece?
Yeah,
Right, what was that called?
Healthiest You.
Healthiest You. There is an additional policy that the city can purchase that would cover all of our employees that get their health insurance through us, it would cost $1,200 a year, somewhere in $1,100-$1,200 a year, which is, we feel, a minimal amount of money that would increase coverage, virtual coverage, so that if there is an episode in the middle of the night, for example, a child's running a high fever, instead of bringing the child to the emergency room or urgent care, either one which would subject the employee to a significant copay, they can get on the phone and talk to a healthcare professional, either a physician or a nurse. It's staffed 24/7, 365. They can call and talk to a healthcare professional, outline the symptoms. The professional will ask questions, I'm sure many of you have used virtual appointments before, but give a diagnosis over the phone or suggestions over the phone of what the parent or individual can do, whether they should actually go to the emergency room or try this at home first. They have found, Counselor Jeff, you were at that meeting, it saves.
I thought they said it has could potentially save, 1,000, 2,000 co-pays and
In
stuff.
co-pays, yeah.
That's-
And then at the end of next year, we can get the metrics to see if it is in fact being used by our employees, and if it's actually worth the $1,200 that it costs. So we would also like to add that to, our plan, if it is agreeable to the rest of you. Any discussion? Then I'll look for a motion.
Motion be for this health insurance plan plus,
Yes.
what's the thing called again?
Healthiest you.
Healthiest you.
So I'd like to make a motion, to move forward with the 2026 proposed employee health plan and with the addition of the healthiest you add-on.
Okay, Counselor Jenkins has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Henderson has seconded. Are there any questions or comments from the audience?
Eric out there, 4802 on a roll. Since these plans are all through Essentia, I'm just curious if you can explain the difference of Nurse Online, because I use Nurse Online all the time. It's free, and my chart messaging is free. I'm just wondering why we spend $2,000 on something that is essentially out of offer.
$1,200.
Thought you said it was 2,000.
Yeah, 1,200. And I don't believe all these are necessarily Essentia.
Oh, they're not. They're trying
No.
to tax part.
There's one that is strictly Essentia, the others are not.
So St. Luke's does not have Nurse Online.
From what I understand, they don't have what this is.
So this would benefit the people who have St. Luke's.
We can also do prescriptions
Yeah.
through the app instead of having to go in.
Or you can do prescriptions on my chart. I'm just proposing that. I'm just letting you know that Essentia is very, very advanced in that. And I know Aspirus just kind of came on board to take over St. Luke's, who is kind of, and I know this coming from a family of nurses. They're a little bit behind on the technology aspect, so I was just curious what the benefit would be for the Essentia.
Or I don't know, because I'm not familiar with Essentia's program.
Okay,
I am familiar with St. Luke's,
okay,
and I would use this.
yeah, well,
As a
and we
state.
use it all the time, but again, through Essentia, it's free.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you.
As the mayor stated, there's metrics that'll be available to us at the end of the year, so if it's the case that it's not used.
Yeah.
Just, it's a pretty low cost here.
Yeah, I just thought, I didn't realize that St. Louis was so far behind Essentia. I got, because I use telehealth all the time.
I used to be able to, with the St. Luke's app, I used to be able to go on there, get a question to my nurse practitioner and receive an answer back. I tried to do that today with the Aspirus app. I can't even get in there. Yeah, so they are way behind on their technology.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, we have the motion. Oh, any other comments? Okay, we have the motion. It has been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Resolution 2534, authorizing application to CDBG. So when you want to talk about this?
So this is a resolution for us to allow us to submit an application to CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant, for improvements to the park. So our request is for paving the parking lot. And I believe, was that it, or is there the trail? Does that include the trail?
There's a trail that goes around.
So part of that application process is we have to get a resolution from the authority authorizing us to submit that. And then it also allows myself and the mayor to sign any agreements or anything else that goes along with that, should the grant be awarded to us.
Do we know how much we're asking for?
I don't offhand, but Counselor Johnson.
I believe it's like right around 122,000 for the paving of the parking lot
Okay.
and the trail from the parking lot around the baseball field to the pavilions, or
Okay.
elderly population can traverse that easier than walking down gravel road.
Now, from my experience of being on the CDBG committee, they're gonna wanna know if we have any matching funds. They will, it is rare that they will award the full amount asked for, so they're gonna wanna know how will we come up with the rest of it? Do we have a plan?
We're gonna do all the prep work with our public works. And so a lot of it will be in kind.
We did also have some discussion in our budget meeting just a little bit ago about potentially using LGA money as a match to that.
Okay. Well, it's certainly worth a shot. You know, this is the kind of thing that CDBG does look kindly on. So. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion regarding resolution 2534.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 25-34.
Counselor Johnson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Quaid has made the second. Any comments or questions from the audience? None at all? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. First readings, resolution 2536, adopting assessment number 35, 2026 proposed assessments.
So this is the proposed assessments that will be coming before council at the November 24th meeting. So just kind of giving you a preview again of what you should be looking at that night. So we have a resolution for adopting the assessment action for Peter Branca for the trunk fees, which has all the agreements and everything has been signed. It's kind of just a formality for you guys to pass this so that we can then forward it on to the county for collection. And then the other item that is in there is the proposed assessments for delinquent utilities and unpaid fines. These ones are just preliminary proposed right now because these people do have, I believe, until this Friday to make the payments and or request a hearing before council for an appeal to them. We do have one request for an appeal so far that will be at the next council meeting, so the list will most likely look very different when it comes to on the 24th final approval.
Any questions for Tony? All right, we don't need anything tonight. These are just first reading, correct? Yeah. All right, 10.2 PUD amendment. Who's bringing this forward?
So we received an application to amend its ordinance 22-8 and the PUD final plan for what has since been named Rice Lake Pines apartment building. This was a 10-unit building that you can see being constructed on the corner of Stavanger and Martin Road. And the request was to increase from 10 to 12 units. Using the same building footprint, there were a couple of, I believe it was a gym and a locker area or a common space that were just not as well utilized. So they're going to turn those into, they're proposing to turn those into an additional 2 units as well. So along with that, there's a proposed parking change that we're looking into the feasibility of that. But the building footprint doesn't change, and the proposal actually shows a decrease in the impervious surface. So still going over the research. This is just a very rough, really draft. Honestly, there's not much to it, so it probably won't look a whole lot different. But the public hearing is scheduled for next Tuesday. We just wanted to bring it forward. They don't have another opportunity to look at it.
Okay. I've read through this, looks pretty straightforward to me. Any questions from the rest of council? All right, so this will go to public hearing with planning and zoning, correct? And then we'll come back to us. All right, any unfinished business?
We have one thing that was unfinished from the budget agenda, the performance review for myself, just the summary. Since that was a closed session, when we're in open session again, there just has to kind of be a summary of what was discussed at that meeting.
So how do we do that?
I don't know, because we've never really done it
I know.
before, so, yeah, it was closed session where council did my performance review for last year, so. I don't know. Summarize what was discussed, or?
I can do that. Okay. We met in closed meeting, which is required by law, to review the work that Administrator Bloomdahl has done in the past year. Overall consensus is she is very well liked by the staff. She is very sensitive to the needs of council and is always willing to go over and above what we ask of her to make sure that we are able to do our jobs. We searched for some constructive criticism. Really didn't find any, because we're very happy with the job that she is doing. Anything to add, Council? And we hope she doesn't retire for many, many more years, at least till I'm out of office.
We got good report first.
Okay. Okay, Councilor Johnson, did you have something that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, over the weekend, I received a few text messages about a Facebook post on the uncensored page. And so I did some research, and a lot of it was pointing fingers at myself, so I'd like to spend a little time to discuss it. And just go over the facts of it all.
Okay.
So a resident that lives on Luzerne Road made a post on Saturday or Sunday wondering about why the corners of my property were staked on Luzerne Road. So she had concerns that our group was gonna do multifamily, and, I felt a need to address this. However, I won't address it on social media just because I'm not on that page. And I'd like to handle that publicly in front of the entire community, and that's what we're gonna discuss tonight.
Okay.
So, a resident named Anna Lynn on Luzerne Road, I actually mailed her a response, US mail. I said, "Hi, Anna, just wanted to let you know that I recently had the property on west end of Luzerne Road surveyed because I have a buyer that is planning to build their home there. I'm not planning to build any multifamily homes on that property." And then she did have a question about the high speeds that she has witnessed on Luzerne Road. And we don't know where our deputy went, but I will discuss with the city sheriff deputy to monitor the speed on Luzerne Road. I hope this clears up your question on Facebook. If you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call or text me at 218-390-9555. Also, City Hall is a great resource for questions on property zoning too. 218-721-3778. You can call your friendly City Hall and get that. I am at council meetings, which are every other Monday. Always feel free to come ask I or the full council any questions you may have. Thank you, Daryl Johnson. So I sent that in the mail on Sunday. And then after reading through the Facebook posts, there was a whole bunch of questions, comments, and I addressed them here publicly. Can I continue on with that, Mayor?
Council, what are your thoughts? All right.
A resident made a comment, says, go to the Fall Inn and ask the mayor what's going on.
Well, that was a good suggestion.
It is, but they could also come here. And then another resident said, she won't be truthful, so don't waste your time. My statement is this, that is a false statement. Mayor Heim will always state the truth. Thank you. Next comment, all Daryl Johnson cares about is getting rich with more development. And the city council is in his pocket. This is not why we live here. This is supposed to be a small country community, not a playground for a few trying to make a buck at our own expense. I state, no one is getting rich. It costs a lot of money to do any building project. The fake narrative that the council is in my pocket is a complete lie. This council, planning commission, and city staff follow all the rules to the T. The city attorney also reviews all development projects. Next. Another comment. Why do you think he pushed so hard to put water and sewer down Martin Road? Because that motive tied with this project will double his property value. Not to mention how convenient it is that water and sewer goes right in front of his senior living and workforce housing. My comment. Our senior living development group installed the water main north on Stavanger, west across Martin Road, and installed the sewer main north on Stavanger. There is not a sewer main on Martin Road in this area. This infrastructure was installed and paid for by our development group, then turned over to the city at no cost. Let's make this clear. Our development group paid for the water and sewer main extensions to provide utilities to our building and to allow for future connections for others to use. Another comment, Daryl Johnson states, the water main that was installed last year on Martin Road was a city looping project that has no benefit towards us. Our property around Quick Trip already had water installed to it in 2016, installed with no city funding as it was installed by me. Next comment. Pay attention to the recent tax forfeit land on Willard Road as well. Lots of touring the city during city hours going on. My comment, I purchased a 3-acre and a 1-acre parcel at 4174 Willard Road from a private seller through a realtor in 2023. I recently sold the 1-acre lot to a person building a duplex for her aging mom, dad, and a family friend to live in. Daryl Johnson also states city touring. Yes, city staff and council drive around the city. It's a normal thing that has been occurring for many years. I feel we need to do it more, so we do. Another comment. However, people need to stop bitching and be more involved. I am one very few that actually attended the meetings and speak up. And because of that, they, Daryl, Yvette, and friends, Tony, Carly, City Hall staff, Mark, and Jamie try to paint me as a crazy person for even asking questions about morals, ethics, and the inner city workings. I state, Daryl Johnson states, anyone can attend city meetings. City Hall is where the truth is. Please come and ask your questions in an open forum. All of us on the council took an oath. This oath will be upheld at every turn in this city. City council will correct all lies and misinformation.
Let's leave the last page. So let's leave the last page. It's not too bad.
Last paragraph on the last page. Daryl Johnson stated, there are other duplex being built in our community on the east side of Luzerne Road and Willard Road. Those are not my properties. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention and addressing it, Mr. Johnson. Okay. Any other unfinished business? Then we have another performance review to conduct for Public Works Supervisor Downey. Again, this meeting will be closed for Minnesota state statutes. So I will need a motion to close this meeting. And we will adjourn into, well, not adjourn, we will move into the meeting room. Got a motion?
So moved.
We only need one motion for that, don't we? No, that's for adjournment. Okay. Counselor Henderson has made the motion. I need a second.
I'll support.
Counselor Jecka has made the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We will be adjourning, or not adjourning, we will be relocating. When we come back out, it will be to formally adjourn. You're certainly welcome to stick around if you want to, but nothing more will be discussed out here tonight. So thank you all for coming.